Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Season 4 of 2025 on oNiD. We're here for the British Stock Car Series on Assetto Corsa. It is round 2, first of our sprint rounds, and what a track to start our sprint rounds at. It is Castle Combe. Very high speed track, very little corners we're running without the chicanes for this round. So we're seeing lap times of sub 1 minute potentially, especially when the track grips up. Joining me for tonight and for this series is, as always, the wonderful Aidan Hurd. How are you doing, Aidan?
Good evening. Hello, I'm here. There we are. Good evening. How are we doing this evening? Welcome. And yes, stock cars run Croft. The full outer loop, not just this little chicane we have in the middle of it. They are going to be pretty much flat out. Those tyres will be screaming for our sprint series, our sprint events this evening. Three 15-minute races, I do believe, if I recall correctly.
3 20-minute races we have this
20-minute
evening.
races.
Yes, we
With
have
a reverse grid, if I recall. for the
8-minute
last
qualifying
race.
session coming up that we're just about to get into. They'll set the grid for race 1. Then we'll have
No.
a 4-minute qualifying session for set the grid for race 2, and then we'll take the race 2 results, flip them upside down, and that makes our reverse grid 3. Our championship standings coming into this round. The overall championship, after taking the feature race win last week, James Le Pivot is in the lead. And in second place, it's one of our AM class drivers, Zach Silver, had very good consistent round last time. They are sitting in second place. Ashel is in third with Lord Friesen and Sedia Dondolo, some quick drivers in fourth and fifth. And we go down 16 drivers made the first round. We have a few more joining us this week. So we have 19 drivers here tonight on this shortened layout. So it should be quite fun, but you can see the rest of the overall standings. And we will also have a quick look at our Pro and AM standings. James Pivot, of course, leading the Pro standings with the overall, and Zach Silver, big second in the overall, will lead the AM standings. But some close battles in there. We're only one round into the season, so there's still plenty to fight for. Another potential 60 points up for grabs 45 points up for grabs within the classes today if you win all 3 races, 75 if you win over in the overall championships. We have just got into qualifying, so let us get into seeing the lap times. It looks like it is James Pivot who's first on the road, already getting towards the final sector of their first flying lap.
There's so many straight lines on this circuit. So many straights for these cars to release all the horsepower out on. And yeah, I would not be surprised if slipstreaming is a major part of this qualifying. And also a major part of the race coming up as well. We'll see what plays out. But for now, Pavo on pole. I love alliteration. Pavo pole. Yes. Car 23 going down the start for this straight. As we see, we're going to the first sector. It's not really a turn here. Technically is a turn, but it's all pretty much flat until they get to this right-hander. Onto the brakes they go. Back onto acceleration. As soon as they do, they are just resting for a moment. There is a kink. There's the chicane that some tracks, some versions of the circuit use, some series, but we're using the flat out straight part of the circuit. He's barely lifted. That's ridiculous. Going down into what is now essentially the final turn.
Penultimate corner, this one.
Is it the penultimate? I stand corrected. Yeah. There is one small. Oh no, ignore me. That's the sector line I'm looking on the top right. That's the penultimate turn. Little kink here. And we'll then go down into the final turn. And this is a lap of Castle Combe. Wow. What a track we're racing it tonight.
What a fast track, and Pivot not far off a sub 1 minute lap time. Currently is in provisional pole. Friesen is very close, only half a tenth down. I think they've just set up for another lap.
Oh, hold on a minute.
Now that's our safety car putting in a lap.
I got excited there for a minute.
I know that they wanted to join the fun. Let's see Alfie Bevan. They're usually one of our quick drivers. They missed last week and they've just started another lap. Ben Mai is coming up to the line. They finishing valid lap. No, it doesn't look like it. It's going to be very quick throughout this session. We've got Alex Wood coming towards the final corner. Let's try and see. Oh, nope, they've invalidated this lap. So let's go. Fraser's invalidated. Try and find someone who hasn't invalidated that time. Has Jacob Hine? Nope, they've invalidated in the middle sector. How about... let's go down to Zach Silver as they've improving in the middle sector. Coming into the final corner now. Making their way around, of course, very important corner to get right, not just to finish a lap, but to start. And it isn't an improvement this time round for Zach Silver. But yes, time's coming in quick and fast. Again,
Kieran Nazov's up into 7th, just popping in a time, which is good enough for mid-top 10. Dondolo coming to the line. Final turn coming up. We'll see what he can do. As he approaches that final, takes a big chunk of curb on the inside, potentially gets away with it. Actually goes up to 2nd overall, only about a 10th behind Pavot.
Yes, so it is very close. Let's see, Friese on a lap, improving in the first sector. Down in the middle sector, can they make up some time? Yes.
That's it.
Good final sector. That bumps them up into provisional pole. Let's see, Pavot is in a group of cars not improving on this lap as they come across the line. Let's go down to Ashhill. They've got 2 personal best sectors. They bump themselves up to P6 and now...
All new pole time. Bevan.
Good spot, Bevan. 59.822 sets the new benchmark. Of course, the track slightly improving with grip over the session, especially with the lap being so short. Drivers are getting a lot of laps in. Let's go to Chris Overstreet, who's set personal best middle sector, coming down to the final corner. Can they have a good final corner? You can see Chris just not quite as committed as the top drivers, but they'll make up a few places up into 10th position with that time. Now let's see, let's go to Gus Peters, who's coming down to the final corner and is improving in one of the sectors as they come across line. No, they don't think they did improve in the end. Someone who did improve is Lucky 7, who got themselves up into 3rd place as Alfie Bevan goes even quicker, 59.6 at the top of the times, extending the margin up front. Let's see what page. I think we'll just have to stick with this one and do the math on our heads. We've got Ben Asker still to set a lap time. Let's see, Captain Carr is on an invalid lap. Chris Overstreet isn't improving on this lap. Let's go to Akopov, who set a personal best opening sector. They're coming up to 2nd sector split now, not improving in the middle sector. So as they come through final corner, they'll need to find a little bit of time, holding a tight line through the corner. Can they improve in the end? No, they'll not improve on this lap. Let's go up to Alfie Bevan, who is someone improving in the middle sector, using quite a bit of the curb on the exit of the first turn and goes even quicker, 59.4. They are setting the benchmark. They're getting into a really good rhythm. 4/10 up in front now. Let's go Stevie Bean, another driver improving in the middle sector, but improved in the final sector, but lost too much time in the first sector to make an improvement. 5 seconds left in qualifying. Lap time's starting to matter. Ben Asker coming into the final corner now. This will be their only lap of the session as they come across the line. It's actually, that was their out lap. So Ben Asker not getting out in time to set a valid lap. Let's see, Akopov will be next across the line.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see the times on the boards at the minute, if you can find a couple of attempts, especially in that midfield, you're gaining 5 positions. It's all still to play for. Pavot, our previous pole sitter, comes to the line, does actually improve in time, but not in position, remains 4th overall. Dondolo next to come to the line. Will he improve? Actually, 7 goes up to 3rd. Oh, 2nd overall, should I say. We're just disregarding that Johnny Ashley pace car, as he very quickly takes pole. It's one of them maybe few times you can say he's on pole. I'm sorry, I'm going to get banned for that. And Fraser in fourth, still yet to improve, and he's going to come to the line very shortly. He does improve in time, but not in position. We're just waiting for the final few cars to finish that. Beams has stopped the car, pulled over. Adam Ely isn't going to improve. Ben Ask, as already said, has not set. They've had a lap time.
That was over very quickly. We got going and it was non-stop. So yes, it was Alfie Bevan takes pole position ahead of Lucky 7. Lord Frieza is in P3, have James Pivot in P4. Seti Adonla will roll off P5 ahead of Jacob Hine in P6. Olivia will roll off P7, has Stevie Bain in P8, who was really struggling in practice, so good lap from him to put himself up into P8. Ashhill will take 9th, and our dominant and leader will start in P10. Gus Peters from P11, head of Alex Wood in 12th. Christian Overstreet in 13th, have Kabat Kar in 14th. Akapov will be in 15th, have Ben Beams in 16th. Adam Ede in 17th. Started to find some time. He was really struggling in practice, but he's found some time, got himself a bit closer to the field. With Ben Mai really struggling that session, but half second off of Adam Ede in 18th, and last on the grid, and 19th will be Ben Asker, not getting a lap in that session. Oh, again, very hectic qualifying, and now we have a 20-minute race. It will be a rolling start, so we will have a formation lap, but oh boy, it's anyone's bets on how this race will go.
It is indeed. And the safety car will be leading us away for a rolling start for all these races, I do believe. So that's why Johnny Ashley got the cheeky lap and pole saying, hey, I'm going to be starting on pole. It's fine, I'll just put a lap in. So he will stay there. We are just going to wait for the countdown to start. Just taking a brief pause before all the cars will then get going for the start of the race. The rolling start, as we said, as is all of our races for this season. Only difference is they're just going to be slightly shorter in length and more frequent in their appearance of these sprint races. 3 races this evening instead of the usual 2 or 1 for the rest of the season. 20 minutes for the first race, 20 minutes for the second, and qualifying for the second race, I do believe, and then the grid will be formed based off the full reverse grid of race 2 for race 3. Please say if I said anything wrong there.
Well, that is right, and a couple of people forgetting that we have a rolling start. So they'll maybe have a little telling off from our stewards afterwards. But you can see the field pulling away now, being led by our safety car. I believe we do have to take myself off the grid for some reason. Again, South Corsa not doing so. But yeah, leading the way is Johnny Ash, with the headlights nice and bright to lead the field. Alfie Bevan will be on pole position. Very tricky first braking zone of the lap. It's the right-hander of Quarry Corner, but you're braking through the left-hander of Avon Rise. So it's a very tricky section. As the drivers make their way past the first chicane. Let me just remind you, yes, it is a formation lap. We will be getting away shortly. Track temperature is 29 degrees, ambient temperature of 21, a little bit cooler than it was for qualifying, which will help the drivers. We've seen an ambient of 26 last week, track temperature of 36, so a little bit cooler. Talking to some of the drivers, they were struggling with tyres overheating, so that hopefully shouldn't be as much of an issue for them. But as we come towards the final corner now, we're going to be getting ready for our rolling start. Hopefully the drivers can keep it clean, but whether they will, that is another thing.
Safety cars in. Cars going up to the start grid. We've already had one spinner. No, that's Johnny Ashley's pulling off. Ignore me. As Alfie Bevan leads the way for the start of this race. And we'll be shortly away for 20 minutes. Race 1 here at Castle Combe. They all get away reasonably well. Alfie leads the way. 7 leads the way as well in second position, side by side through turn 1. In the background, almost going 3 wide. Pavo's trying to gain a position off of 7, and almost 4 wide going into the straight. That isn't really straight for these cars. A little kink there as they go into the brakes for turn 1.
Yeah, very tight, everything concertining up. Alfie Bevan gets through with lead still, and somehow everyone has made it through. Oh, I tell a lie, that's one car spinning off as Alfie Bevan stays in front. That was Akapov that's dropped to the tail end of the field, but through the fast right-hander of Old Paddock Ben, and we see a couple of cars going wide. Is that Stevie Bean jumping across the grass?
It is indeed. He's decided to turn his NASCAR into off-roader. It's not going to end well, but he does, however, keep on going, albeit down in 14th position. That's going to be annoyance for Stevie. He's struggling in the practice session. Side by side as a blinking car, and that's car off, and that's Silver, and that's a lag issue. That's internet.
It is still spinning. Will hopefully avoid someone else gets collected. Unfortunately, Zach being Capit car and Stevie being getting tagged as well. But I just want to point out Adam Ide, talking about his struggles. He's now up 9 places, counting safety car into P8. Really good going for him, as just in front Dondolo gets past Ash Hill and is actually running side by side now with Olivia, and will take P5 as they head into Old Paddock Bend.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a good drive from Adam. And Dondolo now makes to make a move, maybe not. Oh, there's connection issues galore here. Who's that now lagging out?
I am not sure, and in fact, safety car has been called. So as you can see, Johnny Ashley is on track, and he will be collecting the field to calm things down after what has been a manic start. Wasn't too bad, but a couple of lag issues did make it a little worse than we would have hoped for. So the field will... Field ceases racing. I think that's why Dondolo has maybe had to give up a couple of places with maybe when safety car is called. All the drivers are in a race control channel, and so they'll hear immediately when safety car is called. Unfortunately, it is up to figure it out when it's called, as Zach Silver is in the pits, possibly because of their connection issues, but hopefully it won't be too long before we get racing again. Still 17 minutes on the clock, still plenty of laps ahead of us.
Yeah, I think the safety cars now collected the field. Indeed they have, so it's going to wait for everyone. There's one car left who is rejoining Zach Silver to go and join the back of the grid, so that's going to happen as an instant. It's Maya Peters Overstreet all round under safety car as well. That's going to be an extreme clip moment. How not to follow the safety car. They do get back going again.
Bit embarrassing that we've had as many cars involved in an instant under safety car as we've had in the normal race. Yes. Also just noticed with how much of a high-speed circuit this is, we've got 16 kilometers an hour of wind heading east round the circuit. So that'll be just a little thing the drivers will have to keep in the back of their mind. It looks like someone's peeling off into the pits. That's Overstreet. Potentially coming in to repair some damage, maybe potentially take a new set of tyres as well. That could be beneficial to them. Of course, we are running increased tyre wear, 200% or 2 times tyre wear, so there's a little bit more strategy involved in our longer races, but may just influence the decision here for Overstreet to come in, as they're sitting in the pits, likely repairing damage and possibly changing tyres as well. Our field is still heading round. Alfie Bevan at the front, heading behind our safety car of Johnny Ashley.
Absolutely, so not long before we get going once more. And just a very brief mention, thank you for the follow, Raining Monkfish. You followed before the stream went live, so just a shout out there. Thank you very much for your support.
Yes, so we'll hopefully have the safety car in at the end of this lap as Overstreet catches up just a little look at the positions gained and lost, there's very few people who have stayed in the same place. Remember, everyone will have gained 1 position automatically from our safety car. So -1 to all the grey numbers, or add 1 to all of the red numbers for positions lost to get an accurate representation. But the safety car has pulled off now, and Alfie Bevan will put their foot down as they come across the line to bring us to the restart. We are green again as we head up towards the first couple of corners. You can see the field already bunching up into double, maybe 3 wide further in the background. Slipstream for Pavot, but nowhere to go as Alfie defends the inside. Trying to come round the outside is Lucky 7. Will they get round the outside of Pavot? They might do, as Alfie got a little bit of a tag from Pavot, and that's actually sent him a little bit wide, and it's going to allow them to go side by side as they come towards Old Paddock Bend.
Oh my god, please. Go careful, guys. Please, for the love of God. Let's somehow figure it out.
They all managed to make it through cleanly at the front, but Ben Asker has had issues in the background and has made contact with the wall as Adam Ide is trying to challenge Jacob Hine on the inside to take P7, but isn't able to carry the momentum. And Jacob Hine has actually had a good launch off the corner, is trying to go round the outside of Olivia, but I'm sure Olivia's going to fight this back with the inside towards the final corner. Can they get themselves? No, they're going to slot back into line and consolidate P7 as Captain Car has had issues, is spinning off into the grass, and hopefully will get recovered soon. Pavot and Bevan starting to break away, second back to Lucky 7, who's currently in third place, trying to hold back Frieza as they come into Quarry Corner, but running in deep, missing their braking points. Lucky 7 and Frieza much heavier into the wall. Lucky 7 will drop down the order, drop down to about P10. Will lose more positions, they rejoin, but Frieza nearly to the back of the field, down to 17th.
And that's what happens when you try and fight out someone to be last on late breakers. You both end up breaking late and you both go into the wall. I think that's what pretty much happened there. I don't think there's any contact. Maybe just one-on-one, just maybe both of them trying to get one up on each other and not quite working.
Further up, Akapov getting in front of Ben Beams, who's having issues. Gone bad exit, drops behind Zach Silver as well, who you know is doing very well in the AM Championship. Remember, if you are recently joining us, you can tell the AM and Pro drivers apart by the window banners as we have a crash here at the final corner. That's Akapov and Zach Silver getting together in the final corner. Luckily, it seems like no one else got collected. That will drop them down to the back of the field as Stevie Bain now getting passed by Gus Peters for P8. Peters in deep will allow Stevie to get a cut back and will be on the inside as they make the run towards Old Paddock Bend. And Ben Beams also trying to get involved as well as Ash Hill loses a couple of positions further up. Adam Ide as Stevie Bain spins round in the background. And Gus Peters getting passed by Ash Hill round the outside. It's neck and neck between these drivers as they fight for position. But Adam Ide up to P5 now has stayed out of trouble. And what seemed like it could have been an awful evening for him, judging by how his practice was going, it's turned into a really good showing.
Oh, can't blame him. Stuck it out and made a good of bad situations around him. He just avoided it all, really. I feel for Stevie though, he was struggling. He's obviously struggling again in the race, and Peters also having a massive moment, getting a big swapper, lots of speed carried onto the grass, is able to rejoin, finds a gap somehow, and continues. That was a, oh, and there's contact in the background, that's over street round, that's extend, oh, okay, that's not good.
Yeah, that's Alex Wood into the back of Overstreet, into the back of Peters as they all concertinaed up, trying to get the car slowed down. Of course, if any of these drivers are running without ABS, it's just so easy to lock a tyre into that sequence of corners. And yeah, just that concertina, unfortunately, as we see Akapov and Overstreet still spinning round. These cars a lot of power to the rear tyres. Can be a bit difficult to get them going again. Ash Hill and Ben Beams fighting as Ben Beams find themselves on the grass towards the final corner. Can't get the car slowed down and will run wide, and that allows Lucky 7 to get back up to P8 as things start to spread out a bit. But Donalo is on the charge, trying to get up to P5, taking it away from Adam Ide.
Yeah, absolutely. So things now starting to calm. Well, I say starting to calm down a little bit. They haven't. I say they're starting to calm down. They haven't calmed down as of yet, but they are trying to get a race under these belts. These guys. About 10 minutes to go, just under. But a lot of unforced errors. A lot of guys maybe just get the snap of oversteer and locking the brakes. Especially through these like turns that have like little kinks in them. If it's following another car, you lose that a little bit, or lose the downforce that very little of it you have in the first instance. It's getting it's ending up giving a bit of a catastrophic effect as we see Lucky Seven going through that back straight, passing Ash Hill for 7th position on the inside, and that's move done.
Yeah, you're saying about the unforced errors and this big slide there for Ash Hill to give the opportunity there, as Dondaloo has now got themselves alongside and will pull in front of iRacing, who's still in a good position in P6, having qualified towards the tail end for the field in 17th, if I remember correctly. So yeah, still a great showing from iRacing. Hopefully they can hold on to a good few positions. In fact, they're trying to come back at Dondaloo here with an exit out of Quarry Corner. Very difficult to make a move into Old Paddock Hill Bend. Very short braking zone, if at all a braking zone. And towards Tar Corner now, going to be an opportunity. Dondaloo is going to fend it off, but closing on iRacing is Lucky Seven and Ash Hill. Adam is going to have to start thinking about defending once again if they want to hold on to P6. As Lucky Seven, bit of a run towards final corner. Not close enough this time, and big slide there for iRacing on the rear end. Lucky Seven is going to go to the outside and is going to take the position, as Stevie B in further back has issues on the run from Tar Corner to Camp Corner. The final corner will get recovered, but drops back down and has another. They'll spin into the Marshalls post as they try and get going again.
You leave those Marshalls alone, Stevie.
Stevie had a lot of struggles last week, and unfortunately seeming to struggle once again. But hey, maybe they were saying they struggled with overheating the rear tires. Hopefully when we come for the second qualifying and race, cooler conditions might make things a little bit easier for Stevie to manage. Let's head back up to Ben Beams, currently sitting within top 10, just on the back of Lord Frieza. And we'll also got Ash Hill, who's now closed up to iRacing. Let's see how long iRacing can hold on to P7, as we have just under 7.5 minutes. Skinned another slide through the final corner for iRacing, and that allows Ash Hill to get alongside. And Ash Hill will get the move done as they come towards first braking zone of the lap.
God, you love a bit of commentator's curse, don't we? Oh, hold on a minute. Nope, never mind. That's that was commentator's curse. I'll give you that as well. We've had a fair share of curses this race. Adam getting back past Ash for 7th position. Let's just not say any more names, because obviously we're making Ash Hill. We're making Adam either go. Oh no, as I said, mention his name again. He goes wide. On something else. Go something else. Actually, no. Wait, they're still racing.
Yeah, they're going to come up past Stevie Bean, who's still having more issues. It's been a torrid time for him this first race. Hopefully fortunes will change for him in the second race. But Ash Hill back on the back of iRacing. And as iRacing runs in deep, runs wide through the final corner, is going to give up not one but two places here. Lord Frieza closes up with the personal best lap and will get through and has a run on Ash Hill. Will go to the left-hand side as they enter this left kink. It'll be the inside, but it'll be the outside for the right-hander that they're braking for. And Ash Hill just too late on the brake, loses rear end and goes for a spin like we've seen a couple of times this evening.
These cars have fantastic mechanical grip. As soon as you ask them to do braking and turning at the same time, the downforce is lacking. It's just the tin of these cars that pushes the car into the ground, and you have some chunky tyres to help with that. But yeah, sometimes it's not enough, especially with all the power going to those rear wheels from the engine at the front. Then yeah, it's just a bit of a recipe for instability, especially when trying to turn the corner, and especially when it isn't banked.
Yes, so we carry on. Stockcar now trying to make a move on Ben Might, as we've seen Ash Hill run wide and lose another spot to Gus Peters and Ben Beams getting in front of Lord Frieza through the opening section of the lap. Let's actually switch to that now as they come through the right-hander, this tricky braking zone. Just remember, we do have a reverse grid coming up later on, so think of the chaos, think of the difficulty so far. Effectively double it for the reverse grid as we see Fraser down the inside of Ben Beams at Old Paddock Bend, and will retake P8.
Thank you, by the way, Ready Monkfish. Castle Combe, home track, done many laps, and it's Fraser around, and is that...
that was Akapov in the barriers. Frieza trying to make a dive down the inside of Adamida, couldn't pull the car up, losing the rear end, and yeah, find Akapov there on the outside as Ben Myatt has run wide into the wall at the same corner, tar corner that is, and drops down to 13th place.
Bad for us, Ben. He's had a good little run, but that's just going to cost him a position or two there as Dondolo gets past Casanoas. Dropping a couple of positions actually, losing 2 positions, 4th to 6th.
Yeah, but still in a relatively good spot. You know, we've seen a lot of people have difficulties, a lot of quick people falling further down the order than should be. You know, thinking Gus Peters, Ash Hill, Lord Frieza, all quick people. Zach Silver, you could say as well, with how well they did last week. All people that are much lower than you would expect to see them, as Gus Peters makes up a place ahead of Captain Car, and Ash Hill is now trying to follow through as they come to Tar Corner. Ash Hill on the outside will get the car slowed down and slot in front for P11. They'll slide, they'll run wide onto the grass, careful not to spin the car, which they avoid, but does drop them a little further back from Gus Peters.
It does indeed. So that'll be a battle for them to have later on, or potentially, later on this evening. We've only about 3 minutes of this race, so I'm not sure if that battle's going to reignite or not. We'll keep an eye on it as we see 7 now trying to get back up a couple of positions. Had a bit of a torrid start, but is fighting their way back through. Dundalo's the next car ahead of him, and actually catching Jacob Hine, who's just, is that Jacob Hine just up ahead, or is that a back marker? That's a back marker, ignore me, it's 14th, that's Wood.
I think that's Overstreet in front. Yes, it is in 16th place.
I was looking at the little icon in the top right. So is that 14 or 16? Yeah, 16. So that's the back marker. So not going to have any battle with them apart from the cars getting past them for blue flags. Should be relatively easy, but on a track like this, so there's very little braking zones to make a move. You have to do it at some point, but equally the slower car does have to allow the move to happen. Is the official ruling there. Is Stevie Bain's back off again. So that's him off the side of the circuit in the background as we just come past. And now, Lord Fraser fighting in Beams, 8th and 9th side by side. Stevie Bain's still waiting for a gap to come back on circuit.
Yes, side by side and still side by side as they head towards Old Paddock Bend. Very fast corner, be difficult to go side by side through here, but looks like Ben Beams just has the advantage and will slot back in front for P8. Frieza now coming towards Tar Corner, thinking about move, but not quite close enough. We've seen how tricky it is braking for some of these corners. Very easy, just trying to make an overtake, run it in too deep and have the rear end come round on you, as Zach Silver is trying to make a move on Alex Wood. Round the outside of Tar Corner, isn't going to get to work into the corner. Can they get a better exit? No, clean exit for Alex Wood, and they'll hold on to that place for now. But let's just check back with Frieza and Ben Beams. Frieza's still putting the pressure on, but not alongside as they come up to Quarry Corner.
Yeah, but indeed, this race has turned out to be quite exciting. As, Fraser goes deep. Is he going to keep up the circuit? Just gets saved by the curb. And that was almost a torrid situation for him, and one of the situations that he almost put himself into. Alex Wood, Zach Silver past Alex? I think he has.
He has, but he ran very deep into Quarry Corner. Luckily, Alex Wood couldn't get the car pulled up to get to the inside, and Zach Silver will just about hold on now as we're getting... Leader has started the final lap of this race. It has gone by quite quickly, but there's still been a lot of action in this race. The field has definitely spread out towards the front of the field as Friese now down the inside of Ben Beams at the final corner, but Ben Beams holds it round the outside there, uses some of the grass on the exit of the final corner, and will try and hold on to P8. It'll be the inside for the left-hand king coming up, but the outside for Quarry Corner. Onto the brakes now, lose of the rear end for Ben Beams. He gathers it back up as we see Adam Ely into the barrier in front, but it's side by side now for P7 between Beams and Friese. Friese on the outside as they head to Old Paddock Bend, but looks like again they just lose the overlap and they'll have to slot back into line. Though, can they carry the momentum with the bar exit up front? Alfie Bevan has finish the race with the victory, as we'll stick with this battle. Friese down the inside, runs a little bit deep, but just about leaves enough space for Ben Beams and gets the position with a couple of corners to go. Friese will take P7 on the line. We still have a battle. That's Gus Peters with a mistake on the final lap into our corner from 12th position, and that's Alex Wood having issues as well, trying to avoid, as we've also got Carter, that's Akapov, who is a lap down, finding themselves in the same bit of runoff. What a chaotic race. See the final drivers coming across the line now. Wow, that was a race.
It was indeed. He had to do it 2 more times. Dear Lord, God help us. And a safety car as well, right at the start. That was that bunched the field right back up. They got back into single file and he managed to keep it all tidy. There was some internet issues, most notably, sadly, from the car of Zach Silver, was it? Oh, I can't quite remember. So I think it was Zach Silver. Had that lag motor side. Did look like it calmed down. Sorry, I'll say that without stuttering. It did look like it calmed down towards the end of the race. He was able to finish, but Zach Silver could have been a lot more worse.
Yeah, and an extremely difficult race for everyone. And bear in mind, when we think of like tire wear, that was only a 20-minute race. We've got 40-minute races throughout this series, an 80-minute race as well. Tire wear shouldn't have been that bad, but a lot of struggles for people. A lot of mistakes.
Indeed, there was, and we are going to go again very shortly. We'll have another qualifying session. I believe it'll be short than 8 minutes. 5 minutes.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. Essentially, a one-shot qualifying.
Well, the short lap round here, a minute lap time. Drivers should be able to still get in 3 laps when they get themselves out there. So,
yeah, that's very true. Actually, let's say a shorter qualifying maybe adds a bit more pressure. Let's say.
Oh yeah, it certainly does.
We will see who can withhold that pressure, or who will crack and crumble. Sometimes shakes up the order, especially with faster drivers if they can't get a lap in straight away, and they end up a bit further down the order. Then it's going to be interesting to see if that happens. Or it might mix up the order ever so slightly. Time will tell, and we'll go through this qualifying session now. Remember, folks, race finishing positions from race 2, flipping on the head. Last place will become first place for race 3, and so on and so forth. Full reverse grid for our final 20-minute race this evening, based on the finishing positions of our second race. We just take a moment and breathe.
Yeah, while we wait, do you want to take us through the full results of race 1?
Gladly. Alfie Bevan takes the win from Pavo, Hein, Dondolo, Steven, Kresenovus. I'm gonna butcher that for ages. I'm ever so sorry. Fraser, Beams, Ely, Hill, Capcore, Silver, Myatt, Wood, Peters, Overstreet, Akapov, Asker, and Bain. That is your final finishing positions, pending any investigations from the stewards post race. That is your finishing positions of race 1.
Yeah, we may see a few stewarding reports. We have seen a couple of apologies from people just saying, missed their braking point or couldn't get the car slowed down. which is good to see people admitting their errors and apologising for them. But yeah, very difficult race, and we will probably see a couple of them.
Indeed. Raining monking. Blah, wow. Again, stuttering. Why? Raining the monkfish. Castle Combe. Local track. Always delivers great racing. It's on the bucket list, I must admit. On my travels as a member of the Orange Army. I do need to get there at some point. But I'm stuck with my local Donington at the minute, so I'm maybe a little bit biased to being from the East Midlands. As we just take a brief pause, just waiting for the next server to launch, and as soon as it does, we'll go into a warm-up session where we just allow all the drivers to rejoin the session. We will stay with this next server. It will form our grid for the second race based off the qualifying, and then the third race will run automatically following the second, based with the race results being fully reversed for the starting grid. I'm hoping not much longer to go.
Yes, hopefully not too much longer. I think we should be able to get to it now. There we
Indeed
go.
we can.
And so wait, there is just the results from the first race.
And thank you, Phoenix Sim Racing. Donny is a fantastic circuit. It is brilliant.
Yeah.
Not so brilliant this weekend when it chucked down with rain for the Ford KA endurance race of 6 hours. I heard it was red flagged at one point.
Oh,
But and I know, yeah, it chucked it down. It had the weather warning, didn't we? With all the thunder and the rain. It was hailing at one point Saturday, which was always interesting. But yeah, sitting on old hairpin on Saturday for the Marshall's post was definitely interesting, especially with changeable conditions. Some of those drivers in racing definitely got caught out, and a couple of them definitely elected to go and build some sandcastles, let's say.
So we do just have a little short warm-up session for our drivers to get up to speed.
Well, hopefully not like that. Who knows? What was that going off in the circuit? Jesus.
That is Akapov having issues.
Yes, marshalling is always fun, folks. I could highly recommend it. Good day out, and you usually get a free breakfast as well. So it's always nice. But yeah, with this cross circuit, it's interesting because we see with these cars, they are essentially built for straight lines on maybe a very slight banked turn. But they're racing hard, they're racing fair. There's been a couple of blips, admittedly. But for the large part, we haven't seen anything awful. We haven't seen anything or witnessed any big incidents that were caused by just poor driving. Everyone keeping it on track, apart from the little internet blips here and there, which is always out of driver's control. So I think things are looking up for race 2 and race 3.
Yes, qualifying is just getting underway for the second race. You can see the drivers starting to make their way through Old Paddock Bend, sliding as conditions are very difficult for this race. You can see in the top right, the grip has come back down a little bit, and the temperatures, well, that's a stark contrast to what we've seen in the first race, isn't it?
It's freezing. Oh my.
Well,
get your thermal layers on, guys. it's cold.
Yeah, it is cold, but some of those drivers that said they were struggling with overheating, well, they shouldn't be as much of an issue. It's may notice session time. Oh, sorry, I should get rid of our results from last race. Our session time is a little bit longer, a little admin error. I will admit, my fault. We do have a slightly longer session here. So drivers will get more opportunities, which might be better for some of them that struggled to get a lap time in, but might not be ideal. Might miss an opportunity for those that are able to get a clean, quick lap in within the first half of the session, only to then drop down the order as everyone else improves. Go on board with Pivot as they currently have the fastest first sector so far, 19.767. They're coming up to the second sector split. First driver on a lap, so obviously it will go purple, and they will, and for their sakes, are hoping to hold it onto a purple sector. But around final corner, they will start first benchmark of 1 minute 0.3. We're going to go back to Lucky 7, who has taken the fastest first sector. In fact, let's actually go to Akapov, who's sliding through the final corner, losing the rear end, and well, thankfully has a bit of a gap before the next car comes through, which will thread the needle. But Akapov had set the fastest middle sector before that point, until that was taken by Lord Fraser, who's now coming through final corner, runs a bit wide and invalidates that lap. Let's go to Alfie Bevan, who's got the fastest first sector. They come across the line and they will go to provisional pole of 59.5. Even with the reduced track grip, they are finding the speed in the cooler conditions. Let's go to try and see as I was looking for Ben Beams. They've got themselves up to P6 in this opening part of the session. Gus Peters up to second place. Let's go Jacob Hine. They're coming out of the final corner. Will be their lap a 1 minute 0.2. Olivia puts in a 1 minute 0.7. Let's look down to Adam Ide, who's coming towards final corner, just like the first qualifying. This is going quick and fast. There's barely a moment to breathe. Adam Ide maybe a bit slow through the final corner, a 1 minute 2.0. Certainly some time to find for them. A lot of people improving in the first sector. Let's see, Stevie Bean still to set a representative lap as they come through the final corner. Not personal best middle sector, it'll only be a 1 minute 1.6. Let's look to Ash Hill, who's coming towards final corner. Quite a few drivers coming up to the line, so the order could shake up quite a bit. A couple of cars making mistakes onto the grass. Pivot up to P3. Gus Peters immediately taking P3. Ash Hill up to P6. Zach Silver comes across line, doesn't improve. Let's see, Captain Car still yet to set a valid lap. Will come across line 1 minute 1.2 with 3.5 minutes left in the qualifying session. Couple of cars just coming out of pit lane on a new set of tyres.
Oh, it's heating up. So, well, it's not heating up, it's 4 degrees. But the track action is certainly heating up, let's say, with Lord Fraser getting up into 59.8 for him. He's going to be right in the mix with that battle. 7 goes back to 5th position. That's say 7 goes 7th. That's not right. 7 goes 5th. Not too far off. Top 5 split by 0.3 of a second. If you can find the time, big gains can be made there. Midfield also loading quite tightly packed as well. Beams up there, jump up into 9th. Will follow Dondelos, who goes through down into the final 10, gets back onto the power, and indeed he does. He'll come to the line. And it's not going to be a valid lap. There's a potential outlet for him. Krasanowas up into 8th. That's a good lap from him. Exactly 2 seconds off the fastest lap time, which is unofficially Johnny Ashley. That's the pole man who will start in the safety car. We'll allow him to start on pole because he can't even start the race, so he gets his lap time in early just to ensure he starts at the grid. We'll ignore Johnny for now. Alfie Bevan leading the way over 59.6. Close followed by Peters, Fraser 7, not too far behind. We'll stick with Dondler actually, because he's actually on a bit of a half decent lap from my, if I'm reading my timing information correctly. Personal best middle sector. I think if I read that correctly, he's going to come up to the final corner very shortly. We'll have our answer and see what he can do. This will be his first flying lap of the session with 1 minute 45 to go. Final turn, a very odd double apex. You really like that, or you try and go wide and double apex. It comes to the line. It's going to be not too far off pole position. That's a good lap from Dondolo.
Let's see, we have some drivers coming through. We'll go to Alex Wood through the final corner, can then improve from 18th. Yes, they'll go up to 12th, that is. Let's see, Zach Silver also improving as they come through the final corner. There doesn't like it to be the Grace final corner, though it is still enough for P9.
Okay, so not too bad. Was that nice midfield start for him? Fraser's going to go through up to the coming up to the final corner now. Little kink in the right there as he goes on to, well, essentially flat out through that, and he goes on to breaks down to second gear for the final corner. It takes a lot of curb, keeps it valid, however, and takes a lot of curb on exit as well. Is this going to be an improvement up the field? It's not. And he's going to have to start another lap time. 40 seconds to go will be his last attempt at taking up a better position. 7, Pavo Hill into the pits. Krasnowas finishes a lap. 1 minute 1.1. 9th is the best they can hope for. Actually, no, they get another lap. I stand corrected. They can start another lap, and indeed I think they are, as they get onto the brakes for turn 2. Ignore it, Ashley. Where's Ben Askell? What's he doing? He's going to go to a line. Does improve his time, not position, should I say. He remains in 1 minute 2, but quite substantial way off. But will no doubt have a good race as we await Jacob Pine to see what he does. And he actually gets some lap times in the bottom right. That's handy. He's at 0.6 off the best times. It is a personal best for Jacob in the first sector. He goes down to what is essentially a penultimate turn. And there's a little kink in this straight. Never mind. He's had a spin, and that's lap ruined. That's qualifying over for him. Beams goes back to the pits as well. We see Stevie Bain come to line, improves up to 13th. Good lap from him. Alfie B even has elected to pull over and stop the car and return to pits. Only cars that could challenge Gus Peters potentially. He is on a lap. Stephen Bain's finished it and goes off-roading. Of course he does. Why not? As he goes and tries to explore the circuit. What is any other drivers doing? Gus Peters comes to the line. It's not going to be an improvement. Personal best first sector. Didn't improve in the final 2 sectors. Akapov, what can he do? Comes to the line. Not going to be good enough. Only car to see the checkered flag is Ash Hill and Ben Asker. Ben's going to go to the pits, and Ash Hill is still on a lap. Is he going to finish it? He is. He's actually going through the middle sector. I stand corrected. I thought I'll return for a minute. What am I doing? Middle sector for Ash Hill is valid. He has seen the start-finish line before the checker flag was waved. So this is now the penultimate turn, and always been booted back to pits. Maybe he did finish the session, didn't finish the lap in time.
Yeah, again, another frantic qualifying session, and another, I'm sure, frantic grid coming up. Here is the grid for race 2. Alfie Bevan takes another pole position ahead of Dondolo. Gus Peters will be on second row ahead of Lord Friesa in P4. Lucky 7 will take P5 ahead of Pavot in P6. Ashel will go off P7 ahead of Olivia in P8. Jacob Hine in 9th, and Zach Silver rounding out our top 10. Ben Beams will go from 11th ahead of Stevie Bain, who'll be hoping for a turnaround from P12. Akapov in 13th, have Alex Wood in 14th. Kaplikar in 15th, Chris Overstreet in 16th, Ben Might in 17th, Adam Ely in 18th, and Ben Asker in P19. Adam Ely down there in P18 did have a very good first race. I wonder if they'll be able to find their way back towards the front half of the field once more, despite another difficult qualifying session.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what happens. Got 2 races to go. It's going to be an opportunistic race for some as they try and make their way up the field. And Jerry Scorer subscribes. 9 months. Thank you. Good luck, everyone. Thank you very much, Jory. Good to see you. And welcome to the stream. Race 2 of 3 this evening. You've come at a good point. Race 2 will be starting very shortly with a rolling start, but then the grid will be for race 3 based on official results here for race 2. Keep your eyes peeled, folks.
Yes, we've seen how much fighting there was in the first race, how many mistakes we saw. How many will we see in this race? Not long before we get away for the formation lap. Reminder, we have a 2x2 rolling start after a formation lap, so hopefully it'll be good. Temperatures have risen for the race here. 10 degrees ambient temperatures, 14 degree track temp. So that's something the drivers will have to adjust to ever so slightly. You can see the lights coming on to indicate the start of the formation lap. And thankfully, people a little more patient have remembered this time. We do indeed have a rolling start. So we do. Let us get to the front of the field as drivers make their way around for the formation lap.
And we are away for that formation lap. Hopefully, if safety car times it right, he'll go back to the start finish line with 20 minutes after the clock. Did it very good last time round. It was pretty much a bang on 20-minute race start. So we're allowing everyone to get that full 20 minutes worth of racing. The session, I think it was at 22 minutes. Yes, Jory. Johnny Ashley driving the safety car.
I know, scary thought, but maybe we need to blame him for the reason why we've had a couple of crashes from the safety car, as Lord Frieza has reset to the pits and is trying to make their way back up, interestingly. Not sure what's happened here, but they may need to start from the back of the grid, which would be a shame for them, having qualified in 4th position.
Well, he'll be able to catch the grid just in time for the race start, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully indeed. Our field coming up to the final corner. The safety car pulls over to the pit lane. Our drivers are free, led by Alfie Bevan on pole position alongside Ezedia Dondlo. They come up to the line and we are green here for our second race of the evening. It's a good jump from Dondlo off the line. And they run side by side. Peters in the background trying to make it 3 wide as they head towards the first braking zone. Already got a couple of cars with wheels on the grass into the first braking zone. Very deep there from Gus Peters. Now 3 wide on the exits. Dondlo gets to the inside. Pavot trying to follow through as well. Akpov has spun to the back of the field as Frieza is trying to make up some of the positions that they lost from having to go back to pit lane off the start through Old Paddock Bend.
Oh, that's a car off. That's a big off for Pavot. Gets a big swapper. He's going to do well to avoid the cars. Rejoining and gets clobbered.
Luckily, Pavot was the driver that got clobbered there and not the driver on the track. I think it was one of the drivers in this pack. It might have been Gus Peters, but they're now 2 by 2 as they come towards the final corner, banging with Olivia on the inside. Luckily, all the cars still going. Gus Peters will hold on with P4. Ash Hill trying to break away in P3. Dondlo and Bevan have already broken away at the front of the field, starting to extend the margins as Ben Beams is trying to fight with Lucky 7 and Zach Silver, I believe. Now that's Olivia making it 3 wide. Olivia on the inside will hold on to the place, running a little bit wide. There is Lucky 7, but will carry good momentum off the corner. Zach Silver trying to get alongside Ben Beams, but will they have the momentum? They'll get to the inside, they'll try and take a position, and they do indeed with the inside through Old Paddock Bend.
Oh my god, this is brilliant racing from all. No major incidents as of yet, so no reason for a safety car to be called. It has stayed quite rightfully in the pits as they allow these guys to race. It's been rather entertaining. Oh, that's not where you want a car to be, and that is potentially. Oh, do we have a server issue here? For on your end, Scotty, because everyone's just DNF'd for me.
Yes, we may have a little issue. We will try and come back to you. But yes, there has potentially been a server issue.
We'll just wait for the update, because that was everyone disconnected at once by the looks of it. So I'm not sure if that was just our end, or if that was the race's end as well. We just await for an update, as I'm also manically scrolling through the chat to see what's happened. And nothing yet's being reported. So just await for an update. Our server has gone. We've got the official call from Ben in chat. Hello, Ben Myatt. Wonderful to have you. and we will just wait for the server to hopefully be rebooted. That is the hope.
Yes, hopefully. Uh, yeah, hopefully we can get the issues solved. Get back under
Be
rev. Of course,
nice if we could.
yeah, we will likely have a full restart of our second server. So there'll be, again, short warm up to everyone get back into the server once we've got back up. Qualifying before the race. But yes, we will get to that when the server is back up.
I do
But yeah,
believe we have someone in the comms booth with us, and it's the boss man himself.
Hello.
Bonjour, how are we?
Not bad.
I need to apologise to you, Johnny, and I was kind of hoping you didn't show up in the comms booth, so I made a very cheeky comment.
Did you?
I did, and this is me atoning for my own sins. I said that you coming out leading the group away would probably be the first time you've led a race for a very long while. Love you.
Well, I was going to tell you what was happening with the server, but do you know what? I'm going to
Yeah.
let you work it out.
Ah, no, please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, the server has died this evening. Ben's working on it, but at the minute, it's not looking good.
Oh dear. Needs a bit of technical resuscitation.
It does, yeah, but unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get it sorted this evening. So that might be the end of today's proceedings.
Oh dear. Well, it's been a rather entertaining race, if it has been the case. We've been spoiled rotten with instant patch race 1. But yeah, it's nice to see you back out there in the safety car. I must admit, it's good to see you out and about, albeit in a race control method. How are things in race control? Not too manic, I hope.
No, it's not been too bad. It's been pretty good, to be honest. Last week was fun. Me and Rob did the job last week, and it was we had a couple of incidents that we kind of had to bring the pace car out for, and this week's been fairly good considering it's quite a quick track. We've seen obviously a few incidents and a couple of cars going off here and there, but nothing that warranted me to come out and slow the field down. The only reason we slowed the field down in race 1 is because of the big lag spikes that we had.
Yes.
So it was safer to bring me out and kind of slow everyone down until it settled down, and then we got us back racing again. But yeah, unfortunately, I think that might be the end of tonight. And but I'll be back next week.
Indeed, you will. Absolutely. Next week, already thinking ahead, also all too soon, is, oh, yes, Donington. Delightful Donington.
I wonder why you like that.
Oh, Stream already knows why I like it. It's fine. Donington National, with the chicane. No Melbourne loop. So a quick run down the back straight to Dunlop, and then the final chicane straight onto the main straight. Missing out the Melbourne hairpin, but corners like Redgate, Hollywood Hill, Old Hairpin, Craner Curves will be mentioned, I am sure, next week. I can't wait for that. I was thinking to myself today, oh, I can't remember if Donington is on this calendar for this season. I'm bloody glad it is now.
Indeed, it is. I'm going to go back and try and help Ben, but I thought I'd just give you the quick update. Good to see you guys, and I'll see you soon.
thank you very much, Johnny.
Thank you, boss man. And indeed, we will try and just hang it out for a little while. Raining Monkfish says start race 2 was intense. Such a shame. Please return to Combe if you can. We are trying our utmost. We are just waiting for a further update from. If we can just hang fire for a little while, we are just waiting for that further update from Ben Meyer and race control and admins of oNiD System Service do come back to life. But just a brief look forward in case we do have to call it a night tonight and call round 2 a write-off. It's Donington National next week for our feature race. It is a 15-minute race and a 45-minute race.
A 20 and 40-minute race.
I was so close. 20 and 40 for next week, a sprint in the feature. Enduro for the 2005 Silverstone GP Historic Circuit we return to the old pre-new international pit straight circuit. So we'll see the old infield of Luffield, and that's a wonderful section of circuit that goes under the bridge through to the top in the infield that way, and we'll maybe reminisce on some retro Silverstone, Thruxton round 5 in 3 weeks' time, and we finish off in 4 weeks' time for Brands Hatch GP. Some fantastic circuits, these cars coming up, I must admit. Just gets better and better.
I think it's an amazing selection, not being biased in the slightest as the person who put it together, but
Oh no.
yeah, I mean, it's a disappointment that it seems like Castlecombe might not get to run its full courses. One of only 2 sprint rounds, the 20-minute races, that we have for these, most rounds apart from Silverstone, every round has one 20-minute race, but having 3 of them, one of them being a reverse grid at these high-speed tracks of Castlecombe and Thruxton, the shorter laps is going to be interesting, something a little bit different, just to keep the calendar sort of a bit more diverse, a bit more interesting. And it certainly seemed to be that way through the first race. I give the drivers a good challenge, and yeah, it's a shame that it seems like we might not be able to get back underway. And actually, it seems like we might be able to. Let us just check. It seems like things may have been saved. So just give
Yeah,
us a little moment, and hopefully we will be able to get back into the action.
we have an announcement. The server is back. 5-minute practice and a 4-minute qualifying, and we will resume that second 20-minute race, and we'll continue as planned. Have no fear, folks. Castle Combe is yet to come back, and hopefully we will have a stable server ready for the rest of this race evening. We will honour the last 2 20-minute races, and we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Nick Raxford chat, thank God you'll forget the F up. What F up? Don't know what you're talking about. We have a circuit. That's Craft.
We are
Sorry,
back.
that's Castle Combe, should I say?
Yes. Actually, let's just go back to this for a moment while I double check a couple of things. So yes, we are going to essentially rerun the second qualifying session, and it will be a 4-minute qualifying session this time. Then we will have 2 races. Because we are now a little bit delayed from the proceedings, we have shortened them to 15-minute races plus 2 minutes to run the formation lap.
Cool.
So we will see slightly shortened races, but we should hopefully still get both of them in. It'll certainly, second race might not make too much of a difference. That qualifying, though, drivers will have to get their laps in this time. Everything we were saying about the 4-minute qualifying session does apply this time. 15-minute race, so if you do make a mistake during qualifying, don't get a good time in, you have a little less time to make positions up. And then the reverse grid race, when all the quick people, the winners, the people out front, are gonna have to make those places up. They're gonna have a little less time, 5 minutes less. That's essentially with 1-minute lap times, 5 less laps. So that could be quite crucial. But these 20-minute races, or well, now 15-minute races in these two cases, they do offer less points to the championship compared to the 40 minutes and especially the 80-minute race. There's only 1 point difference between every position. So it's drivers, even if you don't get the greatest result here, you're not losing too many points. But if things are really close in the series towards the end, that could be, the difference between getting a position, maybe the championship win, depending on how close it is. Because, well, the order from what we've seen in first quali in the first race, it didn't resemble too much of the order of what we've seen from last week.
No, to be fair, not really, not at all. There's definitely a pecking order, let's say. Those drivers that are quick and those drivers that are able to maintain that pace. We are seeing quite clear boundaries between those who are the quickest, such as Alfie Beaver and the Pavos we see up the top, to the Zach Silvers and Ben Myers of the midfield, and sadly the Ben Arsland, so coming in with a couple of others that do love to race but potentially don't quite have the pace, but are still here to have a good time, have a bit of fun as well.
Yep, indeed. So we do just have a couple more minutes of this warm-up session for the drivers to adapt to the grip, to the temperatures. We said those sessions, unfortunately, have been halted and erased from history, where cold temperatures were back up to 24 degrees ambient, 27 degrees track temperature. So sessions much warmer, maybe to the detriment of some of our drivers, as we see Jacob Hine meet Barry R in our background shot.
Barry R, love it. Shame they don't have a red cow here. And that's a very old reference, I'm sorry. No, not many people will get that from last season.
If you weren't here for it, then sorry, but you missed out. You can watch, as we see another car. Again, name and shame, that is Olivia. Making a little mistake off into the grass. But yes, if you want to see our previous seasons, last season we had some great racing with JCW Minis for a little world, I say a little, an 8-week world tour where each evening had 3 15-minute races, the third of which was a reverse grid, kind of similar to the format we have for these sprint races, or sprint rounds, I should say. So yeah, that was some good fun if you want to check that out. And earlier in this year, we had Formula Lithium's racing, as well as Peugeot 106s. So if you want to go back, watch some of those series, yeah, it's all on our YouTube channel. So it is. And you will also be able to get caught up with this series, the British Stockcar series, as we go through, as well as our other series here on oNiD. We'll talk about what else we have running throughout the week a little bit later on for Season 4. Won't be too long now. Warm-up has come to an end. We just have a little over a minute before we get going for the 4-minute qualifying session.
Indeed we will. And again, shortened 15-minute races to the usual 20, but we are bringing you all 3 races this evening, hoping and praying that the server has sorted itself out.
Yeah, hopefully it has. While we wait for a little moment, let's just have a quick look at the standings coming into this round. We have the overall results at overall standings. Pavot leading the way, though hasn't seemed super strong this evening. Neither has Zach Silver in second place. Ashel has been doing decently from P3, but Friese and Dondolo looking quick. As well as Alfie Bevan, who wasn't here for the first week. So yeah, that's how the overall looks. And a quick look at the Pro and Am standings. Of course, not too different from what we've seen in the first week. But yes, qualifying is now underway. There has been a little delay, as I think there's been a slight roadblock on pit exit that we haven't quite seen. But the drivers have eventually got themselves out of pit lane, and will have 3 flying laps essentially in this session to set their positions on the grid, as we've just had a little subscription come in from oNiD Aiden. I think that's one for the lovely iRacing admins, Aiden Carter. So thank you very much to Aiden Carter, I'm pretty sure.
Nope. Hi.
No, thank you, Aiden.
Who's that sly guy?
Thank you, Aiden, of course, joining us 2 times a week, running our iRacing streams on Thursdays. As I said, we'll talk about that a little later on today, what we have on offer throughout the week. And yeah, joining us regularly on Tuesdays, as well as helping out behind the scenes to organise our streams. But yes, qualifying is underway. Let's go on board with Dondolo, who is at the front of the field.
Be the first flying lap for this shortened qualifying. 3 laps. First one of 3 here for Sedia as he goes through the first sector. Turn 2, all done and dusted on the power. Going down to we'll call this a turn. I will say this is turn 3. It's enough of a turn here to call it a turn just about for these cars. Turn 3, all done and dusted. A little kink there for. I'm going to call that. I'm going to call this turn 4. There we go. It probably is another turn number, and other people will probably correct me in chat. Down to turn 4, I'm going to call it this back straight, a little kink in the middle of it, and we will go down into the final turn for the first time for Sedia. Gets the car stopped, takes ample amount of curbs on the inside, gets a good run out, and it's going to be first lap time of the evening. Sorry, of this qualifying, should I say? A 59.9. We have seen quicker, but ignoring Johnny Ashley, who's the pace car. He will start at the front of the grid. He's just qualifying, so he ensures his front start for the formation lap. Dondolo, however, is still on pole. Steven comes to the line as Adam Ely goes very slidey. Fraser sets almost an exact 1 minute lap time in P2. Not too far back off Dondolo, actually, by 0.05 of a second. Still waiting for the quicker cars to come and set their laps. So still waiting for the likes of... Actually, Alfie has set a lap. Only go for P4 as it stands. Stevie Bain also in the middle. Alfie, personal best. He's going to get stuck behind the pace car. Of course he is. So that's going to compromise him. And Johnny's going to try and potentially get out of the way as soon as he can, hopefully.
Well, luckily the safety car actually being a bit quicker will pull away. Yeah. Now Alfie to be unaffected. Yeah. He is still saying personal bests through the first and second sector. Now through the final corner. I've actually got a little bit of cheeky slipstream from our safety car, and we'll set 59.6 to take provisional pole. Gus Peters will go P5 and the times start coming in. Let's have a look to Pavot, who is yet to set a flying lap time. We also have Frieza, a couple of cars in front of them. Might be able to improve. No improvements there. Pavot, 1 minute 5.8. They have one more flying lap to get themselves up from 14th on the grid. Ben Beams puts themselves P7s as Captain Car has spun out of the final corner. Alex Wood coming across final corner doesn't improve on that lap. So let's look. Dondolo will be the first driver to complete their final lap.
And the times, I'm sure, will tumble. Stevie Baines had an instant. He'll return to the pits. P10 is the best he's going to do for race 2. As Alfie comes to the line, it's a personal best, and it is an improvement, 59.6. Good lap for him. Ash Hill goes up to 10th. 8th. No, hold on, let me get that out. Not 8th overall, I should say. Yep, indeed. And Silver can manage 10th. Good midfield result from him. Lord Fraser is also still on a lap. What's he going to be able to do as he comes to the line? It's going to be P3 for him as Pavot gets up to 6th overall at the dying moments of this race. Krasnowas still on a lap. Wood on a lap. Ben Meyer also on a lap as well. Wood's going to come to the line and he's going to come and see a checkered flag. It's up to P8. Good lap for Alex Wood as Ben Meyer comes to the line, is unable to improve. And Captain Car also unable to improve. Only driver on the lap is Krasnowas, but he's not going to be able to see the checker flag in time as the session is bumped forward, ready for race 2 of quarter of an hour.
Yeah, so that short qualifying session Where does that start grid? Alfie Bevan again, still on pole position, ahead of Dondolo from second, so no change there. Friese in P3, ahead of Gus Peters in fourth. Jacob Hind from P5, ahead of championship leader Pavot, only in P6. Ben Beams will go off of P7, have Alex Wood in P8. Lucky 7 was quick in the first race, down in P9 for this shortened qualifying session. Ash Hill will round out the top 10, head of Stevie Bain taking P11. Zach Silver down in P12, our AM Championship leader, head of Olivia in 13th. Akpov is in 14th, have Christian Overstreet in 15th. Adam Edey 17th, Ben Myatt 18th, Captain 19th, and 18th, and Ben Asker in P19 for our 19 car field.
Awesome. Now, rolling start as it has been for the past race this evening. Johnny Ashley will lead them away for the rolling start, and we will go side by side down to start finish. And then they all get racing for a quarter of an hour, shortened race, and we'll go racing for the restarted second time this evening. As we said, folks, remember top of the wow, why it's failing me tonight. The top finishers of this grid, the winner will start on the final podium, the final grid position, should I say, for race 3. The finishing results telling on the head for your starting order. Last will start first, first will start last, so on and so forth for race 3, based on the finishing positions here on the second race.
So we are on the grid now by 20 seconds till we get away for our rolling start. And had a little scare for a moment. Ashel disconnected briefly, but they've got back in again, so they should be able to retake their grid position as the lights come on, and we'll go out to signify the start of our formation lap.
Here we go. Strap in, folks. Ready for the second of 3 races this evening.
Yep, second of 3 races. You might have noticed in qualifying, the temperatures again plummeted back down to 4 degrees ambient in 5 degrees track, or something like that. They have gone back to sort of the mid-ground, 11 degrees ambient, 16 degrees track temp, wind 15 kilometers per hour in a southerly west direction, and of course we still have a 98% track grip as the drivers make their way round our formation lap. As a reminder, shortened 15-minute races coming up, so not as much time as we see a couple of drivers getting onto the grass, making a mistake as the formation lap. Yes, will not be too long before drivers get ready. How many mistakes will we see this race? It wasn't too bad for what we've seen in our, let's say, practice race before our server issues. Hopefully drivers will be able to keep it as clean as it was for this second attempt.
The safety car will very shortly pull in. I think they have done so already, and it's down to de facto safety car, which comes Alfie Beaver, and they're side by side through the final turn. And we're going to go racing, hopefully for an undisturbed quarter of an hour race here for race 2. They all get away reasonably well. Alfie Beaver actually loses out to Donlow, drops to third and flittering between third and second. They're side by side through turn 1, 2 abreast. These guys are keeping it clean for the most part. The car having a wibbly wobbly moment in the background, and I think they've taken to the grass again. That's Ash Hill. As we see, that is Fraser going off big time on the exit of turn 2. Going to lose a shed ton of positions. He's going to go down to 16th. And that's Hill as well, also cementing the fact that I think it was off previously. Leaders getting away well. Midfield is looking neat and tidy. They're figuring themselves out, finding space to race each other, but now eventually getting into some form of a single file line. They were stand corrected as Adam Ely has a moment going through the middle sector.
Yeah, gathers it back up, keeps it pointing in the right line, and goes round the outside of Alex Wood through Tar Corner. But Alex Wood is going to try and come back on the exit. They're side by side through the kink. Big slide there from being on the grass for Alex Wood. Now into the final corner. Can Adamide hold it round the outside? Go keep his nose there. Go try and carry the momentum as they now still side by side towards onto a new lap. Though it looks like Adamide has to slot back into line, but it's going to try and look to the inside for the upcoming right-hander. Can Adam outbrake Alex? No, not able to. Slots back into line. We've seen how difficult it can be to outbrake someone, how easy it is to make a mistake while trying to do so. But it's going to try and still follow in line as we head. Olivia is up quite a few positions here. Some positions again. Lost Olivia up to P6 from...
Big man.
They try to fight onto the car. Just about gathers it back up as now coming under pressure from Lord Frieza, who's recovering after that lap one, either instant or mistake. We didn't quite see if they were tagged into that issue, into that wide moment that ran them into the barrier. Runs onto the grass as that Stockcar into the wall. Is that Zach Silver colliding with the wall as Frieza gets moved on Adamide?
Yeah, that was Zach Silver having a bit of a wall ride there, and kind of trying to reminisce on a certain oval race about a year or so ago, maybe now even 2. It's not the time or place for it, and riding the walls here will only see you lose laps instead of going position.
There's an issue between Benmai and Overstreet through Quarry Corner. We've seen Frieza have their issue on lap 1. They'll get going again as Akapov is into the pits. Let's go back to this battle. 3-way battles. Frieza's trying to look to the inside of Zach Silver, but Zach has the door shut off and it's wide for Frieza, but not as wide as Alex Wood, who gets into the wall and is going to lose quite a few positions. Fall to back for this train in 14th position as Stockcar gets up into 13th. We see the personal best and fastest lap times being set from the grid. Moment there for Adamide running sideways, gets collected by Stockcar and tagged as well by Alex Wood as they go through. Both of them will drop down a few positions after a good race one for Adamide. It's been disappointing, and as you mentioned, Gus Peters spun at Quarry Corner.
That's from P3 as well, and that's going to hurt. I think there's a car off in the background as well. I'm not sure who that was actually. That was Krasnoska. I think I butchered that name again.
Yeah, Olivia Fong struggles, but we've got a big fight here for P4 as Stevie and Lucky 7 going side by side fighting for P5. Or Stevie has had a lot of struggles so far in the opening 3 races of season. Now he finds himself in P5 for the second race of round 2. Into the final corner is closing up on Jacob Hine. Let's see what the lap times are this time around, and you can see Jacob Hine actually a very slow lap, 1 minute 3.6. They had issues on that lap, and that's allowed Stevie Bean to catch up. Can Stevie get himself up into 4th place, or is he going to have to try and consolidate P5 after the struggles that they've had so far this season? Mistake for Dondlo.
Oh no.
Contact with Pavot in Quarry Corner.
Oh, that's not going to go down well.
Has to wait so long before they can rejoin the circuit safely, and Pavot is slowing down. I think Pavot is admitting fault for that one and is doing the honourable thing. While we do discourage it here in the race as it can cause issues, Pavot has pulled safely off the racing line and is going to allow Dondlo to close back up, which is, well, we do discourage it. Gotta say, it is still a respectful thing to do when done in this safe manner. But yeah, drama for championship contenders.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Pavo's letting him pass and does so in a safe manner. I just really do discourage it, but we'll let it slide on this occasion, I'm sure.
Yes, so up front, Stevie Bean now on the podium, trying to chase down Jacob Hine for 2nd place. Let's go on board with Stevie as it is a good run. The run's a little bit wide through Old Paddock Bend. Jacob going defensive into Tar Corner. Can Stevie get a move out of this?
Tries over the over-under, but I don't think it's a good run, but he's actually able to pull alongside There is a little right-hand kink here. They need to be careful. They go side by side. They can go side by side. Oh, it's a moment. He goes up nicely. He has the inside line for the final turn. On the brakes they go, but round the outside, Hein holds the position. There's a slight tap on exit. And it's almost 3 wide for P2.
They're 3 wide as Lucky 7 down the inside will get in front, but towards the braking zone. How hard are the drivers going to fight back? Lucky 7 does get in front of Stevie Bean, but Stevie's still on the inside, still trying to complete the move on Jacob Hein, and they get together. Lucky 7 was in deep. Jacob and Stevie go for the cutback, but come together, converge in on each other, and Lucky 7 ends up in the wall, will fall down to P7. As then Stevie Bean runs out wide. Will he be able to gather the car back up as the track comes back towards him? Will be indeed, as Ben Beams is now up into the podium position.
Wrong place, wrong time for Seven. I don't think there's anything heart or malice in that. That was just 2 cars fighting the same bit of road, and then I think Seven just was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Fighting into the final corner slide there for Ben Beams, allows Jacob to get to the inside and will give Gus Peters a run. A little bit of contact between Ben and Gus as they come out of the final corner, but Gus
almost become collateral damage there for that car sliding. That was a look away moment.
Big slide there for Stevie Bean as he tries to get the car through Quarry Corner. Big slide as we see Ben Asker in the background trying to get back on track, but a big slide as Friese has now caught up to this battle, is now trying to make the move around the outside of Ben Beams through Old Paddock Bend, is circling for a cutback, trying to get to the inside for Tar Corner, will send it in under braking. As long as he can get the car pulled up, which he does, he will get a place in. Jacob Hein having issues, going for a spin on the grass.
That is not how to drive a race car, but you can understand the difficulty some people have. Was that Bain going wide?
And that's still Jacob Hein recovering there.
Same coloured car.
Yeah, as Pavot makes up a place on Alex, we can see a real big fight. I think there's a lapped car in here as well. Yes, there is, and that's making things just a little bit more complicated. Olivia, a bit of a slow lap there. 1 minute 5 has allowed Donlo to close up, and they're now alongside as they head up towards first braking zone. That contact between the pair of them. Olivia trying to gain control of the car again, comes across the track. Very lucky to avoid everyone, as there is 1 car off there. I think that is the lapped car that is off the track as they come towards Old Paddock Bend into the right-hander, and Nondolo will now try to chase down Ashel, who is 4.5 seconds up the road. Pavot will try and follow them as they break away from this pack behind. Alex Wu now coming under pressure from Olivia, runs in a little bit wide, but Olivia even wider, loses rear end under braking. And did they just tag? I think they might have tagged Jacob Hein, who's also gone for another spin there, and again has to wait. Disappointment for them, but benefiting from this, Ben Might had struggles at the start of the race, now up to P12.
Gets the moves done at the right time. Stephen Baines drop in. Stephen Baines had an instant.
No contact reported on our timing screen, so must have been a mistake under braking for Quarry Corner. Will fall down to P6 and will just about get going before Ash Hill catches up. Ash Hill will be right on the rear bumper of Steve Bean and will be putting pressure on the 2 number 18 cars. Still further back, Olivia trying to get back past Chris Overstreet, runs it in too deep, and Overstreet will get the cut back and will get back in front.
Did they well? It's unfortunate for the Stevie, but does get going. But again, it's just a case of, well, what could have been? We think it was very much him and himself, wasn't it? Really? No lots of contact between cars. I think it was just maybe the only damage he's got is maybe just to his pride after maybe having a spin of his own.
So Ash Hill set a personal best lap last time round. It was a 1 minute 1:01.4. Stevie's fastest lap is a 1:02. Is Ash Hill, I think, now replicating what Stevie did last lap. Is going to fall down the order himself. Spin at Quarry Corner. Will try and get going again. Down below, Pivot go through. So does Alex Wood. Zach Silver is the next one to catch up. It'll be very close as they get to Old Paddock Bend. Zach will he get alongside? No, is going to have to wait. But will now be right on the rear bumpers. A little bit of slide, a little bit over the grass for Ash Hill as Adam Ede has had issues. Had a spin again at Quarry Corner. Maybe has done the exact same thing as well themselves.
Maybe so. It's just the people maybe just lacking a bit of self-control, the right foot, let's say, and inadvertently spinning the cars around.
Yeah, Zach Silver has now got past Ash Hill and is defending the now P10. And oh, a like moment there from Zach Silver. Seems like Ash gets away and Zach Silver has a little adventure across the grass. Loses out P10, but luckily no bigger incident. But side by side towards Old Paddock Bend between Lucky 7 and Ben Beams. 7 gets the move done on the inside and will take P4.
He will, car number 4 taking P4, and will look to try and catch up with Lord Fraser in third, 2.3 seconds ahead, just ahead with this battle actually, but with dying moments of this race, I'm not sure whether he'll be able to catch. Fraser made a mistake. However, he is fighting for Gus Peters, so that might actually bring them a bit more closer for Lucky 7 to try and make an attempt, but he's not doing it up completely, still ever so present within the wind mirrors of Fraser, of 7, should I say.
Just under 3 minutes left in the race. Alfie Bevan has completely checked out at the front of the field, leading by 15 seconds. Now as we see Ben Beams a little bit wide as they follow Lucky 7 towards the fast right-hander of Old Paddock Bend. They're heading through now using all of the curb on the inside, the curb on the outside as well, trying to close in. Let's go back. Olivia trying to catch up to Ben. Might gain 2.2 seconds last lap on Ben, and Ben big slide trying to put it down the par out of Quarry Corner. This might just give the place up to Olivia for free as they're heading towards Old Paddock Bend. Might be side by side, but Ben might backside of that one. Just lets Olivia has the position, and that's also going to like Chris Overstreet to start closing in.
It does. As that's like taking candy from a baby is that move for Olivia, and Ben I think looking a little bit sketchy going through his corners. I'm not sure if he's killed the tyres in this shorter 15-minute race, but it does look like Overstreet's been able to close the gap somewhat in a very short amount of time.
You can see Ben running a little bit more, sliding the rear through the final corner, and that's give Overstreet a run here through sort of the first corner on the inside. It'll be the inside for Quarry Corner as long as they can get the car slowed down under braking. Ben gets back in front under the brakes, but can he pull the car up? He just about does. Swap out the traction exits. They'll slide from all 3 cars in line as they now have a car right behind them. That is Captain Car, who is a lap down on this battle, which will be just annoying, just distracting Overstreet a little bit as they try and put the pressure on. We can see from the field personal bests coming from Friese and Lucky 7 lap. Friese trying to put the pressure on Gus Peters, trying to take P2 from them, but still half a second back with just a couple of laps to go.
Indeed they are. It is just literally a couple of laps before. Oh, that's a move! And that is a move up the inside. Is that a...
Yeah, it's Captain Car unlapping themselves.
Captain Car unlapping, I stand corrected.
Yeah, we've got Ash Hill also closing in on Alex Wood, fighting for P9. As our leader, Alfie Bevan, starts the final lap of the race. Of course, a slightly shortened race with our server issues, unfortunately, but it's still been action-packed. Mistakes from drivers in good position. Stevie being up in P2, making a very costly error. Is still in P6. Remember, this grid will be reversed, and that will set the grid for our final race coming up as Ash Hill down the inside of Alex Wood. into the final corner and will take P9 with a lap to go, as long as they can hold on to it. But someone who we've barely looked at all day so far, but has been leading the way the entire time, dominating both of our races so far. Alfie Bevan into the final corner now. We'll make it 2 for 2 in our first sprint round of the British Stockcar Series, and will take their second win as they try and make up for missing the first round last week. Gus Peters inheriting P2 after Stevie Bain's mistake has had to hold on with the pressure that Lord Friese has been dumping onto them, and they have done so. They'll take P2. Friese taking final podium spot in P3. Pavot, they'll further back an instant between him and Dondolo. Took them out second and third after Stevie's mistake. They'll finish 7th and 8th respectively. Bit of a disappointment for them. They'll further back Chris Overstreet, trying to fend off a recovering Jacob Hine, who made a couple of mistakes within the race, got caught up in an instant as well. Down in 15th, is trying to find one final position before this race is done. Just one corner to go as Olivia gets past Zach Silver on the line, which we just missed. But through the final corner, Jacob Hine won't be able to get through and will have to settle for 15th place. Ben Asker will be our final driver across the line, as Akapov does not finish the race. But again, what a brilliant race that was.
Yep, absolutely. Now, the question is, I do need to clarify this potentially with one of the admins. Now, Akapov in 19th, they didn't see the checkered flag, but do they start on pole?
I don't believe they will, from my understanding, but ultimately it is up to the server. The server does stipulate those that don't finish the race are not included in the reverse grid, but we will have to see if the server is deemed being 12 laps down in the pits, not taking checkered flag, as not finishing the race. But there we can see the order. Again, let's go through. Alfie Bevan takes the win ahead of Gus Peters. Lord Friese will take P3, have lucky 7 in P4. Ben Beams taking 5th place, and Stevie Bain with a good P6. Dundle and Pavot taking P7, P8 after their instant. Ash Hill in P9, and Alex Wood would round up out to the top 10. Olivia will take P11, getting past Zach Silver on the final corner, with Bema in 13th. Christian Overstreet in 14th, Jacob Hine 15th, Adam Eli in 16th, with Captcar a lap down, and Ben Asker a couple of laps down, and Akapov not finishing the race. Reverse grid race coming up, 15 more minutes, one final rolling start for this evening. Ooh, it'll be interesting to see how this one goes.
I have a feeling, well, I don't want to jinx it, I have a feeling maybe the safety car will be called for this next race at some point. Just having a hunch. Faster cars behind, trying to make their way past the slower cars. I don't know. But we shall see, and we will await for that final quarter of an hour race to get underway. It won't be much more longer. We'll just wait for the server to kick us across, and the cars will be grid in starting order for race 3.
So yes, drivers, they'll be used to this if they were as part of our mini-series last week. As we can see, the grid formed now, and we will just confirm that grid order very shortly. So we will, once our formation lap gets underway. Drivers will have to wait just a little moment for our safety car to get to the head of the field to lead the drivers round. It'll certainly be a little bit different. Those drivers used to starting up front, right at the back of the field, and those who are used to being in the middle of the field or towards the back now find themselves leading the way. What carnage will we see in the first braking zone? It is difficult enough breaking through Avon Rise into Quarry Corner by yourself, let alone when you're fighting one other car, let alone when you're fighting multiple other cars. We can see our safety car making their way to the front of the order, and now our formation lap gets underway.
And breathe. Cars are away and it's leading by a safety car, so we'll hopefully see everyone get away when our starting order is Stockcar pole. There's Stockcar on pole. Sorry, Ben Asker's on pole and Stockcar, Hein, Adam, Overstreet, Myatt, Olivia, Silver, Hill, Wood, Dondolo, Pavo, Bain, Beams, Fraser, Peters, Fraser, Akapol 7, and as you said, it is the we did mention about Akapol not finishing the race. He's starting to look good, as we suspected.
Yes, those positions juxing a little bit as the rows or some cars just slightly in front of the car that they're starting alongside with. And it does seem like a couple of cars have dropped back a little bit, but they'll hopefully sort themselves out, or they should sort themselves out before we get through the final corner for our rolling start. But through the back end for the circuit now, through Tar Corner. We have no idea what to expect. The first of our reverse grid races this season, of only 2 that we have for this season. It is slightly shortened again due to the earlier server issues. How much chaos will we see? And because of being shortened, race control are going to try and avoid calling a safety car if they don't need to. But who knows what will happen through the final corner. We're away now for our final race of the evening. 50 minutes of reverse grid action, and it all starts now. Ben Asker with a good run will lead the field towards turn 1. Adam Ide with a good run already into turn P2, challenging for the lead on the brakes and will take the lead. And Ben Myatt going sideways into the braking zone, as well as Overstreet getting into the wall. Let's see, Pavot up to P9. As our field's still trying to slot into single file. Now we have the fast right-hander of Old Paddock Bend. This is so tricky to go side by side. Alex Wood and Olivia are trying to do so, and they will get through all cars safely through Old Paddock Bend. As fighting up front, Jacob Hine taking P2 off of Ben Asker, and will try and chase down Adam Ide for the lead. Pavot ahead of Olivia, who is wide onto the grass, will drop to effectively the back of the field, bar those involved with the first incident. A lot of bumps between our field, and that's a car sideways. That's Ben Beam spun into the wall, spinning across the track. Luckily, everyone else avoids, carries on. Unfortunately, Ben, though, will again drop towards the back of the field. Lucky 7 has struggled to make progress, is only in P15 as Zach Silver sideways through the king of T1.
And drops down the order because of it. And Adam's had a spin. Leader is spun.
No contact recorded on the timing sheet, so he maybe got a little too ambitious into the first braking zone of the second lap as he's leading the way. So unfortunate, as he was in a grip position for this race, but we'll look a little further back. 3 wide as we head towards Tar Corner. Stevie Bain backing out that one as Fraser and Dondlo go side by side deep for both of them. Stevie Bain able to make one of the places up, and Ben Asker dropping down the order, spun there on the inside of the corner. So yes, Steve Bain does get back in front of Dondlo. Fraser holding on to P7. Gus Peters trying to get involved as well into the final corner. Jacob Hine with the fastest lap of the race, now leading the way after Adam Ide's mistake, and Alfie Bevan trying to make up places. Pavot getting past Alex Wood as we go back. Gus Peters trying to get around Stevie Bain towards first braking zone as Alfie Bevan follows Pavot through, sliding on the brakes for Gus Peters. So is Stevie Bain, and they come together and collect quite a couple of cars behind them. Stevie Bain coming worse off of that, spinning into the grass. Will get going again, hopefully just before this pack of cars. Ben Asker will get through. Stevie Bain will carry on in 14th ahead of Adam Ide. But chaos at the start of this race.
It's now calmed down just for now, as we follow Alfie Bevan right behind as well. 2 of the faster drivers on the grid this evening, and well, the Captain Car not giving up any space, fighting for its worth. They are free to fight, no matter if it's a reverse grid or not. They're fighting for position. Pavot will have to fight for that P3. And Alfie's keen right behind as well, but avoids right on tail of Alfie as well.
Ignore the Zach Silver jumping up and falling back down. That is just a timing issue. As to the inside of Pavot is Alfie Bevan, trying to get past our championship leader coming into this round, and it'll be side by side on corner exit towards Old Paddock Bend. How will Pavot fare on the outside? Will slot back into line, gets into the back of Alfie, sends him across the line. Alfie keeps the car pointing in straight line and will get the car back on track. Pavot now under pressure. Dondolo sending it down the inside, or sorry, is that Free? That's Frieza sending it down the inside. Not able to get the move done though. Pavot holds firm around the outside.
Well, Alfie says, I'm coming through, you like it or not. If you can't make the move for third position, I want to, but that was a certain amount of door bagging there that I don't think really anyone wanted, as Alex Wood also now losing the position to Dundler as well. Phoenix Racing, come on Olivia, 9th position for now.
Yeah, is the next car behind this pack. Will be trying to close in as they fight away. Alfie Bevan, our race winner from both races so far this evening, now trying to fight their way up into P3. Stockcar trying to squeeze Alfie Bevan, but Alfie Bevan not having any of it as they bang wheels, bang doors now into Old Paddock Bend. Car runs out wide onto the grass and will lose another couple of positions as Pavot and Fraser make their way past. A little bit of contact there, and Car is losing control of their car, gets into the barrier and will spin, losing even more positions. Unfortunately for them, maybe just being a little bit too aggressively as they were fighting hard to try and hold on to those positions. As you can see, Ben Asker has got a little bit lost in the grass down at the back of the field, as Frieza running wide through the final corner all by themselves. That will allow Dondolo through to take P5 from them.
Well, indeed, that's a free position for him, and he's going to run away with that, I'm sure, but Lord Fraser maybe punching himself in the gut a little bit as a back marker, or getting him right out of the way. I think that's Ben Asker.
It is indeed. Asker staying out of the way respectfully. Let's have a little look at this battle for 13th. Adamile leading this 3-car train. Zach Silver trying to look to the inside, but not close enough to make a move. That camera angle made it look like they were inevitably going to have a crash, but drivers hold on, able to slow the car down, and they will carry on. We're actually caught up to this battle just within the top 10. Lucky 7, he's not had the greatest of races so far, not able to make up as much ground as the other quick sort of leading contenders, you could say, as Lucky 7 has had some great pace so far this evening, but only sitting in P10. They'll want to improve on that. The next car for them to pass is Akapov for P9, gained just over 3/10 on them, but Gus Peters, it's really closing them down. As they said, personal best, but Lucky 7 and does enough to get alongside Akapov, and seems like will take a position as they get the car slowed down for Quarry Corner, and that is move done. And next up it'll be Gus Peters. Still has a few car lengths to close in before making the move, but with their pace that they had last lap, should be able to do so relatively easily.
Yeah, absolutely, and the cars fighting ahead of him is only going to help his cause. You lose time when you're fighting someone, so you want to get the move done as soon as you can, but for now it looks like you'll just have to stay put and allow those 2 cars ahead of him just to squabble a little bit more, but I think now he's got the pace to get right up close to Akapov for position. Alfie Bevan, however, will jump to the top of the grid with 8 minutes to go. Alfie's challenging for 2nd position, has a run going through turn 1, and I have a feeling it's maybe moved otherwise. Outside line for the next right-hander, but it doesn't matter. I think the move's done even before they get to the braking zone. And as soon as they got under brakes, Alfie sliding that stock car through the corner.
Zach Silver trying to make a move on Adam Eli for 13th, not quite able to get alongside through the first corner. Actually going to switch to Olivia, who's got a good run on Alex Wood and is going for P7 on the inside towards Old Paddock Bend, and will slot in front before the corner, even able to take the racing line in. Takes a log carb on the inside, and issues for Zach Silver trying to fight with Adam Eli, and will spin back round down to 15th.
Yeah.
And will have a lot of time to make up as Gus Peters trying to fight with Akapov for the final top 10 position. Will get the move done through Tar Corner, and will have to defend a little bit as they come towards the final corner.
Well, indeed, and it's a move. It's a very late breaking move. There's contact between the two. That was always going to end badly. That's not how you take that final turn, and both cars will eventually rejoin the circuit, but maybe that move is maybe a day late and a dollar short a day late. Is that the phrase?
Yep, it usually is. As we see Gus Peters back in front, and I think our safety car is on track, so I assume safety car with only 6 minutes of the race remaining. So calming things down. The person who will be most annoyed by this is our leader, Jacob Hine, who...
That closes Alfie right up.
Yeah, and we know how quick Alfie is. They've won both races so far. The last, Alfie doesn't really need the extra help of closing in with the safety car, but they will get it either way. But yeah, we'll hopefully not be under safety car too much longer, for too long, bunching the field up, and we'll probably have about a 3-minute sprint race, sprint to the end, if I had to guess. How much carnage will we see in those final sort of 3-4 laps? Oh, I'm a little bit worried, in all honesty.
I'm hoping we'll see some good, hard racing. But yes, you do raise a question. You've got a charging Alfie B who's managed to get up to second from this reverse grid race. This safety car only helps him leaps and bounds. There's in the background a couple of cars still fighting away for some reason. I'm not sure if Saxero's had an issue.
I think he had. It looked like he was going a bit slowly there through turn 1. But we'll see the field now bunching up behind our safety car. Again, we won't be long left in the race once we get going again, as we wait for the cars to bunch back up. What will we see? What sort of... Yeah.
Let's wait for those last few cars to come and do. What will we see? We'll maybe hopefully see a good last couple of lap battles with Beaver and Hine. That's what I'm looking forward to. Hine is quick. He has got some pace. But it's something we usually just see him down in the midfield, really, don't we? It's going to be maybe it's a bit of a nerve-wracking few last laps for him. Maybe he's hoping, banking on the fact that he had about a 2-second gap to him and Alfie, that he could just let Alfie eat away ever so slightly, just eke out at the end of the race. That's now completely gone.
Yeah, and now from the get-go, Alfie Bevan will be putting the pressure on Jacob Hine. I think the big thing is, even if Jacob isn't able to hold on to the lead, it's don't make a mistake while fighting. Try and at least hold on to P2. As, if they make a mistake with the safety car restart, everyone bunched up will likely fall to the back of the field, barring anyone else that has issues. As I have to imagine someone will likely have an issue in the final 3 minutes here. The question is, who will it be? Who will fall into trouble? That is the question. And who will be able to make some last-minute strides?
So the field is now caught up with each other, so everyone is now in single file. In theory, we should see the safety car in this lap, and we'll have just under a 3-minute race, so maybe just under 2 or 3 laps. You see Alfie weaving that stock car. It's wiggling left to right, desperately trying to get some temperature into the tyres after going so slowly. The safety car now goes into the pits, and it's now down to Jacob Hine. How long can he keep Alfie behind? I think it's a great one through turn 1. They hang fire for now, and the green light is up, but there's a car spinning already, and that was someone. We just missed who that was, but they're going to go fighting already. That was Lord Fraser. There's side-by-side contact already, and that's Akapov around.
Spinning off into the grass. We said there were going to be issues. Issues indeed, as Alfie goes for the lead on Jacob Hine. Will take it round the outside of Quarry Corner. Jacob will try and fight back on the exit, but all the action behind them has been so chaotic. Adam Ide up to P11 through Old Paddock Bend now. Of course, sliding their way through Ash Hill, trying to make a move now. And Jacob Hine will try and get themselves up to second place. Down the inside on the brakes. Can he get the car pulled up? He just about will. Jacob trying to run the outside, they get connected a little bit, and that pulls Ash Hill into the grass. Ash trying to rejoin, but Pavot will find their way up to second. Donlo also trying to find a way through up to P3 as these cars fight into the final corner now. Donlo not able to make a move, will have to stay in P4. Ash Hill down to P5. Olivia takes P6, have Lucky 7 in 7th as the field complete their first lap under after the safety car restart. 2 laps to go.
Alfie's checked out. 1.7 seconds now the gap. That hurt Jacob. He's looking at, oh, that's Ash Hill round. Oh, did he save it though? No, he didn't.
And Capcar as well spun on the inside.
Interesting place to lose it. And he gets going once more, but oh dear. But the battle is now on for the best of the rest now at this point. 1 point. It's a 2.5 second gap now for Alfie Weaver to the lead. Capcar has returned to the pit sadly, and we'll see no further part of this race as Ben B's now looking to make inroads and dying on motor this race. Last lap. Leader comes to line now.
Yeah, Ben fighting teammate Alex Wood. And will take P8 with 1 lap to go. Gus Peters fighting with Lucky 7 for P6 as further in front. Jacob Hine is trying to make a move on Pavot, not able to slow the car down, gets into the back of Pavot and sort of kind of maybe does what we've seen Pavot doing to Donlo last lap, but Donlo now, speaking of, gets the advantage, will make it 3 wide and will try and take P2 on this final lap. 3 wide into Old Paddock Bend.
They somehow figure it out just about. Oh, it's a touch and a nudge from Pavot to Hine. And it's still fighting away. Jacob Hine now trying to make it round the outside. As he's still fighting for that P3. He gets it back. Good on him. As the leader is going to come through to the final turn now. It's all eyes on this second place battle. Third place battle, should I say. As Alfie Beaver sees the checkered flag. Second place and third place coming to the line. There's a car spinning in the background. It's Pavot round.
Pavot spins around on the final corner. Will drop out of the top 10. Disaster for them. They'll take P13 on the final lap. Wow, what a finish.
That was... I mean, if you wanted a proper race, that was it. That was absolutely insane. Late safety car gives us a battle for what we've had for a very long while. One of the best battles we've seen as Stevie Bain comes to the line. Does see the checkered flag, but does so in a spinning manner, and yeah, I think that's just been the tone of his evening, sadly. Only other car too, the checkered flag is Capcar, who's in 19th. He's still out on circuit somewhere, but I believe he's returned to the pits. I don't know, he's
they have got going. They had they did have a disconnection there, but they did get back in and are finishing the final lap for them, which is good to see, even with their connection issues. But wow, that was a final lap, or a final safety car restart. 3 laps that was at the end, 3 or 4. Manic as anything. A lot of change up and down the grid.
Oh, can we breathe now?
I think we can.
Go, that's fine. Well, your finishing order for that final race, Alfie Beaven. We don't encourage a last to first challenge on oNiD leagues. It does happen sometimes, and Alfie's proven that point. Starts last, finishes first. As such, the dominant pace he has. Safety car did come for assistance. Did he really need it? Probably not. But what a way to finish a race. Dudley second, Hine third. Peters fourth, Seven fifth. Olivia sixth, Beam seventh, Wood eighth, Adam Ely ninth, Saxdale round up the top 10, Overstreet 11th, Hill 12th, Pavot 13th, Ben Wyatt 14th, Fraser 15th, Akabov 16th, Arthur 17th, Stephen Ben 18th, and Capcar finished the race in 19th. Reigning Monkfish, great event. Thanks for the great coverage and commentary. Great job, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, a manic evening that will have some implications on the championships, our Pro-Am and overall championships. We'll get an update on them next week when it's all calculated out. In the meantime, next week, as we mentioned earlier during our server issues, we will be heading to Donington National for our second feature round, a 20-minute sprint race like what we've seen today, followed by a 40-minute feature race. Mandatory pit stop. The strategy question, do you change tyres or not? Of course, more safety car in getting involved as well, complicating strategy. You'll have to see how that plays and then see how it plays out as when we head into the second half season. Of course, Silverstone GP, classic Silverstone historic layouts with the high-speed chicanes through Abbey and Vale, with Bridge Corner in the old Luffield Brooklands and Luffield section. That'll make our 180-minute endurance race of the season before we head to Thruxton, which will be our next and hopefully a more cleaner running, not shortened final and second and final sprint round of series before we head to Brands Hatch GP for our final feature round to end off the season. Plenty more action like what you've seen tonight to come through the rest of the season. It should hopefully be some great fun. And still plenty of racing to come between now and next week, Aidan.
Absolutely. Wednesday, tomorrow, you'll see the LMU Hound Academy, all hypercars taken to the circuit of Interlagos, I do believe, for what is going to be the race of the evening. Visited Interlagos with Monday LMU as well, just gone. We're visiting again for the hypercars at LMU Hound Academy. Thursday, we'll go to iRacing Duty 3 Showdown, and we are going to, I should know this because I'm the one streaming it.
Road America.
Road America, thank you. I wanted to say Watkins Glen, but I knew it wasn't right. Road America for the GT3 Showdown Championship. We've had about 30 odd cars signed up for that. If anything, if the first year was going to buy anything, that was an incredible event. Do come and say hi. 70% limit on fuel tanks and default fixed setups, equalising the field. LMU then returns on Sunday for the LMU 100 Series 2. That is multi-class racing of 100 minutes of racing there on Sunday evening. Our feature stream of the week. And then starting on Monday of next week, we're going to week 3 of oNiD's Season 4. Back with the LMU GT3 MPG. 200% fuel usage. Fuel saving and strategy is the name of the games we saw this week as well. Stay tuned for GT3 action with all of the tactics and planning and live fuel calculating you will see anywhere on oNiD Racing.
So plenty of great racing as Aidan has gone through coming up over the next week before we return next Tuesday. A lot of chaos tonight, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of mistakes, a lot of great battles. More of that to come next week, so make sure you tune in then. But until next time, from me and Aidan, take care, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Good night.
Take care. Good night, everyone.